Professor Breen Brown's research shows that vulnerability fosters good emotional and mental health. It is a sign of courage. We become more resilient and brave when we embrace who we truly are and what we are feeling. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast is a space for scientists to tell their honest and authentic stories. I am your host, Sarah Nyakeri, who happens to be a scientist, informal science communicator, and I help scientists create personal websites. If you want to support this show, go to www.patreon.com/thevulnerable-scientist. You can also follow this podcast on all social media platforms at TV Scientist Pod. So when you graduated, did you go into a job or what happened?
A lot of things happened
Okay, I want to hear
before
them.
I graduated.
Or before you graduated. Okay, I'm rushing you.
Before I graduated. Yes. No,
Okay,
yeah, as I was preparing to graduate, I had thought about my future.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I want to be? Or I had done an internship, and I had seen the kind of life in the industry, how it's like.
Where?
I did it in Saddle Paints. I think nowadays it's called Kansai Plascom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's industrial where I ended up working there for. I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
So when I was in my fourth year, we had this seminar about graduate school. If you want to further your studies, so I attended the seminar, and we had lecturers who studied in South Africa. We had lecturers who studied in Asia, countries like Japan, Korea. We had lecturers who studied in Europe, and some of them who studied in the US. But I was particularly attracted to going to the UK. I don't know why I had obsession with going to the UK. And that was it. After that seminar, I think I forgot a little bit about it. So I finished school in April of 2015 as I awaited graduation in December. So I got my first job with it was a startup company by then. I don't know if you've heard about. It's called Royal Paints.
Yeah.
It was starting up. Yeah.
I even know about it.
Oh, you know about it? Yeah, I was the first chemist.
Wow.
With Royal Paints. It was a startup company by then. It was actually basically starting from scratch.
Okay.
It was located near the City Stadium. So one time we went for lunch, and then there was this newspaper I was flipping, and then I came across a scholarship, and it said you want to apply for Rhodes scholarship. And then I remembered, there was this seminar. There was this lecturer who told us he's a Rhodes scholar. Maybe I should apply for it. Maybe I should ask him for advice. And then reading through it, they said they only take 2 people in Kenya. And then I was like, no, I don't think I'm that good to be in top 2 for the applicants. So, but then in the evening, I passed by school. And then I met this lecturer. I told him, I saw this advertisement, and I remember you once talked about it, but they only want 2 people. But I don't think I can manage. He just asked me 2 questions. Are you ready to apply for it? I told him yes. Are they charging you any money or any fee to apply? I said no. So he told me then, what are you losing in applying?
Yeah.
So,
wow,
okay.
Good question. Wow.
Yeah. I'm actually not losing anything. Even if I am not selected, I haven't lost anything. So I gave it a try in 2015. Remember, I haven't graduated. That was, I think, in the month of June. So about months later, I'm still working, and then I open an email. And it says, okay, you've been invited for a luncheon. It said first you've been selected for the interview for the Rhodes Scholarship. And you've been invited for a luncheon at the UK Embassy residence. Okay, so I'm excited. So I went there for the luncheon. I think it was in 2 weeks' time. And then
Wait.
Okay,
How did
I'm taking you too fast.
Yes. How did you feel when this is not something you're thinking you'll get, like for to be invited? Yeah. So at that moment, just getting that first letter.
Okay, I wasn't excited that much when I got the letter, because I thought, maybe they've shortlisted like 300 people. So it's still not an excitement, because out of the 300 people, they have to narrow it to 2.
Two, yeah. So you still,
because they didn't say how many people have been shortlisted for the interview.
Yeah. Okay.
So we went to the luncheon, and then I was waiting. How many people will show up? And then, to my surprise, we were only 6. Yes, we were only 6.
Wow.
3 gentlemen, 3 ladies. So the interview was supposed to be the following day, but that was a it's like a pre-interview. It's still being counted as an interview, because they are still observing how I don't know how you interact with people, or something like that. They usually do that every other year.
Okay.
So that is when I really like, wow. So
when you go to the luncheon,
6. Yeah. So I met brilliant people from different universities. They've done different things. You interact with them, really great people, and you feel like, okay. And then even the panel itself scared me, because you had the panelist, someone like David Lee is a panelist. You have a deputy governor for CBK. You have one of the renowned lawyers, I think he was called Firoz. Great people, and they give you the schedule for the next day. It's a 1-hour interview, and by then you feel, okay, I think we are all equally qualified. So whoever gets this position, I mean, you just wish them well. And we did the interview, and I think the results were like after 1 week. They will call you whether you get it or not.
Call, not email.
Not email. It's a call. So you can imagine how that reaction is. So after 1 week, I get this call. 0724. I don't remember the other, but I still remember it was 0724.
Wow.
Hey, so I received, hey, this is Janet. I'm calling on behalf of Rhodes Scholarship, blah, blah, blah. So, you were receiving the news, you either being selected or not. So I say, unfortunately, we decided to go with this candidate, but, you're you're also well qualified and blah, blah, blah. Of course, it's a low moment, because everyone, when you go to an interview, you expect to be selected. But after a while now, after a few days, after all that information sinking in, you have to reset your clock.
So what were you thinking? What's going on in your mind? Like, I don't know. Were you trying to justify yourself? Like, I knew I wouldn't get it. Something like that. Like,
I actually didn't. I actually didn't feel that way. But when you look at when you hear about stories of other people, and then you compare it with your story, you feel like I think they deserve it more than I was. It's not that you are not equally qualified, but you just feel like especially even the panels tells you, you are all equally qualified, but it's just that we have to get 2 people. So they had to select one guy and a lady. So what happens to the other 4? You just have to go back to the drawing board, set your clock, and see what's next for you. So I hadn't graduated by then.
You hadn't?
Then I graduated. I hadn't graduated, but I had finished. That was around November of 2015. Okay. I was graduating in December.
Okay.
So I continued working. I left the job that I was working with Royal Paints. I was the only chemist, but with the startup companies, it's not established. The pay is too little, and then you've been there for a while, and you just feel like you want a new environment. I went to work in EPZ. I think that was my... an export processing zone.
Okay.
In Ruaraka.
All right.
Yeah, in Ruaraka. Yeah, near Allsops.
I've heard this name.
Yeah. It's just near. It's just next to Allsops.
Okay.
Yeah, as you know, in Allsops you have that downhill. As you're moving from Nairobi to Githurai, so it's on your right.
Okay.
I think that is one of the most challenging jobs I've ever done.
Why?
Because in EPZ you have I think more than 2,000 people. And no one cares about your qualification.
Okay.
And then you're here thinking, is this the kind of life, or is this the kind of job I want to do? What is
the job?
What we were doing, the job we were doing is, when they are making clothes, they make clothes for export, and some of especially the what's it called? Not the khaki ones. Especially the ragged jeans. They have to be washed with some chemicals before the final processing is done. So we used to work in the chemical section. But because it's not so busy, not all the clothes pass through the chemical section. They had to give us extra work. Push the carts, you carrying clothes, and it's a lot of manual work. But then, you're in Nairobi. You don't want to quit. You don't have another option. You keep looking for jobs, but it's difficult. That's now 2016. Until remember I told you I did internship with Saddling.
In your fourth year?
Yeah, in my 4th year.
But then how did you get that one?
In my 3rd year.
How did you get the Saddling?
I just applied.
How did you know about it?
I had, you just, when you are a student and you're specializing in one field, you have to know your prospects. Yeah, and then we had these people who are studying in the evening who are already working in the industry, so you kind of know the kind of industries that you are going to work.
So you talk to them?
You talk to them. So
wow,
they work in different industries.
That's a good tip. That's a good tip for anyone to know.
You just talk to them, make good connection with them.
Talk to people who are doing part-time schooling. Talk to people who are in graduate school in your school. You never know.
That is how you establish connections.
So what about the startup company? How did you know about it?
I was referred by someone who was in Saddling. Because I had done internship in Saddling. And if you're starting a paint company, it was a paint company. So they know the people in paint companies.
Industry, yeah.
So, yeah, because I had applied for jobs and I talked to this guy who was my supervisor. Yeah, if you have a position, let me know. And then he called me and said, oh, there is a startup company and they don't have a chemist. Maybe you can go and start up with them.
Then,
so that is how I ended up.
Then
and then the position opened up later.
Okay,
suddenly.
So for the EBZ, how did you get
EBZ,
there?
how I got the position is... remember the friend that I told you I used to live with in Nairobi University?
Yeah.
So one time he called me. He lives in Limuru. He calls me, hey, can we meet in town tomorrow? I was in Kawangware. I said, oh, yeah.
Oh, you went back to your cousin. Things got hard.
Yeah, things got hard.
Yeah.
So, because after finishing school, you cannot live in the
hostel.
in the university anymore, in the hostel. So I said, yeah, okay. And then we were there thinking of what next. He said, let's visit school. Let's say hi to, some of our lecturers. And then we went to the chairman's office in N-Block. And then, by then we had graduated. It's 2016. So we had, my friend and I both got first class honors. So we went there and, you get good reception. Oh, yeah. So he told us, so what guys what are you guys doing nowadays? I said, we are looking for jobs. So if you hear anything, maybe, sometimes they call the department and say, hey, do you have students who like to do this and this? So the chairman told us, if we hear about anything, we'll put you in our priority list because you guys performed well. So that is how EPZ called the department that they need chemists.
Oh, and that's how you guys went there.
That's how we got, yeah.
Okay, so so this position opens in Sadolin.
This position opens in Sadolin. My friend had already quit in EPZ long before. He said, no, I cannot continue this way.
Oh, okay.
So I was the only one remaining. So the position opens up in Sadolin.
Wait, why did you stay? Was it taking
because,
care of your bills?
for him, he was in Limuru. So the proximity from Limuru to Nairobi is, you can always, whenever there is an opportunity, you can always commute. But, for me, if I quit, I have to go back to Nakuru.
Yeah, and you didn't want to do that.
So I didn't want to go back to Nakuru.
Okay.
So the position opens up in Sadolin. I went there, did an interview, passed. I got a job in February 2016. So I worked there. That is when I started again, thinking about, graduate school again. But my heart, remember I told you, I wanted to go to the UK.
Yeah.
So continue applying for scholarships in the UK. But I didn't get any until around June. And remember, June, the Rhodes scholarship opens again. 1 year later.
Yeah.
I see the same advertisement. I said, okay, let me apply to the Rhodes scholarship again. Maybe they might consider me this time, but it's like, let me just try. Got the same email that I got the previous year. I was shortlisted for the second time. Went to, the luncheon. This time we were 7. Remember the previous year we were 6?
Yes.
This time we were 7. And I was like, this time, I think I'll get it. There was a reason why they had to shortlist me for the second time. But one of the guys that we were with in 2015 had also been shortlisted again. So I was like, okay, maybe they might shortlist either me or the other guy, and maybe so one more person. So we did the interview. A week later, they gave us a phone call. Hi, Alex, this is Janet calling. Unfortunately, this is like, wow, that's 2016. I didn't also get
You even remember the name of the caller.
Yeah, I remember the name of the caller. So, this is the second time I didn't qualify. That was one of the lowest moments. Remember, the first time it wasn't that low.
Because you were not like sure like you will get it.
Yeah.
At the same time,
But now
like,
the second time I was
can get it. But now,
yeah.
This time you came with confidence. No one pushed you to apply.
Was so
you
confident.
Wanted to apply, you know?
Yeah, and I know the process, how everything goes.
Yeah. So you were confident like you would get it. Like you were sure.
I was very confident.
Yeah. So that came with a different beating, I can imagine.
Yeah, that one really. And remember, it's November. Because usually they give the results in November. So I was like, wow, so this is hard. So what do I do next? Do I give up? Or what do I do? And then I said, no. That was on Friday. I reflected myself over the weekend. I said, I'm done with UK. I'm no longer applying to scholarships to the UK anymore. So I tried in the US. But the timeline now for application in the US, they are very strict, because if you want to apply for the fall of the following year, you have to have your applications by December. And remember, we are in November. You have to put up all your applications, do the GRE, the graduate record exam, have your recommendations letters, have your personal statement, have application fee. And that's a lot of things to do within a month. It's difficult.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is book for GRE exams. Usually they are done in I&M. It's 25,000.
I&M building.
Yeah, I think it's in I&M building. It's called a place called Computer Pride. It's along Kenyatta Avenue. I think it should be I&M building. Is it I&M? It's along Kenyatta Avenue. There's a building near. If it's not I&M, then it must be a building next to I&M.
So this is money you've saved from your work, right?
Yeah, this is money I've saved from my work. And they're always always fully booked. So I didn't get the appointment until... No, because we are going into December, they told me they are fully booked until Christmas. So the only available time is January. But remember, I have to put in my applications by December. So I was like, oh, I think I have missed this. So I didn't even book the GRE exam. I prepared all my applications, like get recommendation letters, everything. I submitted whatever I had by December.
Without GRE.
But you know, they cannot review your applications before you have all the requirements. So by December, I didn't have all the requirements. I came back in January to book the exam. They are also fully booked for January. So the next available date was February 12th. Booked the exam, did the exam. It takes a few days before they send your results to the schools that you applied. So I think my results were sent in by February the 20th. I submitted everything apart from the GRE.
Yeah.
So what I did, I wrote an email to the school that I applied.
Because you're past the...
Yes, I reached out to the school and they said the pool was competitive and I didn't have my GRE results in time, so they couldn't consider my application.
And you had applied with the application fee and all?
Everything, yes.
Application fee is how much?
It was $75.
That is 7,500 about there.
Yeah.
Or more. Okay.
Yes. So I told them that's fine. I'll try again. for the following year. So towards the end of the year, I'll do my application again. But I'm really interested to join that school.
Which university was it?
That was Louisiana State University,
the one that
university that I finally got admitted to.
Okay.
So, almost a month later, I think 3 weeks later, they emailed me back and said, "Hey, Alex, are you still interested with our program? We want to put you in a wait list." I didn't know what the wait list. I didn't know what a wait list means by then. So basically, I asked them, "Okay, so what does it mean?" So they said, in case, because when students apply, they apply to different universities. So you might be admitted to 3 or even more universities, and then you happen to select only one. And that university happens not to be that university. So there might be a position by someone else rejecting the admission offer. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm really interested." I said, "Okay, we cannot promise you anything, but in case of anything, we have to go through the priority list, and then we will reach out if we have something."
So no interview was done.
They usually don't do interviews.
Okay.
And they just review your applications.
Okay, so so you said?
I said that's fine, but I didn't have any hopes. So 2 weeks later, they write to me again. That was beginning of April. They write to me again. They said, "Hey, we have a position. We have a position. Would you be interested?" I said, "Yes, I'm interested."